So welcome everyone. We're so happy to have so many of you coming on and joining us for our very special Canada's Agriculture Day Facebook Live event where we're going to be making some delicious chicken recipes, giving away a great prize pack, and hearing all about chicken farming here in Manitoba from one of our very own Manitoba Chicken Producers farmers, Evy Wiebe. So we'll just give everyone a sec. All right, so we have quite a crowd that has joined us. We are so happy and thankful to have all of you here. As I mentioned, I am Gina Sunderland, Food and Consumer Relations Specialist Dietitian with Manitoba Chicken Producers, and welcome to our Canada's Agriculture Day Facebook Live featuring one of our very own Manitoba Chicken Producers farmers, Evy Wiebe. Welcome and thank you for coming and joining me, Evy.
Thank you.
And please share a little bit about your story with all of us before we get into our fun recipes.
Super. So my name is Evy Wiebe, and I'm a very proud Manitoba chicken producer. So I'm a second generation farmer, which means that me and my husband bought our farm from his parents back in the early 90s. So we've been producing chicken for 26 years. And the farm we have is raising chickens for meat, which is called a broiler chicken. Excuse me just a second here. And this is what we raise. And so over the years, the last 26 years, we've not only raised chickens, but we've also raised 4 children on this farm. And we have so many happy memories of us doing our farm work together and just enjoying life on the farm. It has given me a wonderful lifestyle, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to all of you for trusting me to produce your chicken that you feed your family. So I take that responsibility very seriously, and so I'm very diligent in making sure my chickens have fresh air, clean water, and nutritious food. This is very important to me because it makes sure that we have healthy chickens.
And we are so blessed here in Canada and right here in Manitoba that we have access to local, fresh Manitoba chicken year-round to nourish all of us, thanks to farmers like Evy.
Yes, our pleasure.
And our family-owned farms. 97% of farms here in Manitoba are family-owned and operated, just like Evy's and her husband's farm. So we are just so privileged. And we've been so lucky that throughout all of these difficult times, that we have been able to access local fresh chicken. And Evy, just before we get started with the recipes, I want to ask you something. I know you've had many highlights in your career of being a chicken farmer. Well, what is something you are the most proud of right now?
So if you're asking me as a mom, it's my 4 kids. And if you're asking me as a grandma, it's my little sweet baby. But if you're asking me as a farmer,
yes.
One thing I'm super proud of is the initiative Manitoba Chicken Producers have taken to gather the farmers as a collective and donate 1,000 chickens per week to food banks around the country, the province. So it's locally produced and locally donated, and then we give it out to the food banks. Now, I personally also donate my time at the food bank, because I think farmers love to feed their neighbors. And there is nothing quite as satisfying as seeing someone get a box full, of hope in that food. And I've actually literally experienced someone reach into the box, take out their frozen whole Manitoba chicken and say, "Oh, wow, this is exciting." And I was so touched because that is my chicken. So I was so proud.
Exactly, very proud. And I am also very proud to be part of Manitoba Chicken Producers as well. That we are such a generous collective giving back to the community. So we have many farmers and our industry partners that every week provide 1,000 whole frozen chickens to Harvest Manitoba to nourish those that are less fortunate in our community. So important always and so important right now. So with this being Canada's Agriculture Day and being February 23rd, we actually tonight, a Facebook Live, we can be a Facebook Live without prizes, we have 23 prize packs. All you have to do is ask us a question and you will be entered into winning one of the 23 prize packs. So be one of the first 23 people to ask Evy a question. We'll be taking your questions in a few minutes and you will receive all of these goodies. And something that's a very favorite coveted item is our signature Manitoba Chicken Producers meat thermometer. And this ensures that you cook your chicken perfectly every time. Evy and I are going to make two great recipes this evening. We are going to make our Hoisin chicken drumsticks, a brand new recipe that's quickly becoming a favorite. And then Evy's going to show all of us how to make her own recipe, her sticky chicken. We'll give you the cooking times and temperatures, but the best way to know that your chicken is cooked, if you're cooking chicken parts, bone-in or boneless, is you insert the probe of this meat thermometer into the thickest part of the chicken, and it should read 165 degrees, and then you know your chicken is perfectly cooked, 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so I am very excited to show everyone how to make our Hoisin chicken drumsticks. Very simple recipe, uses a lot of the ingredients that you already have on hand in your pantry. And this chicken recipe features drumsticks, a very economical, nutritious choice that everyone loves, and especially kids, because they can pick it up and it's a finger food. So you start with 2 pounds of drumsticks, about 8 drumsticks for this recipe. And you make a lovely and quick marinade. So 3 tablespoons of prepared Hoisin sauce goes into a bowl, and you will be surprised, everyone, how quick this comes together. We have got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. We have got a tablespoon of fresh ginger, or you can use a teaspoon of dry, works perfectly either way. A teaspoon of garlic, powdered garlic. Half a teaspoon of chili flakes, and you can adjust the amount, a little more, a little less, depending on how you like your food, how spicy. And then a teaspoon of sesame oil. So that all goes together, and you can see that's just so quick. You just make this simple marinade. It's incredible how this just sticks to the drumsticks.
Just looks delicious.
Oh, it smells good. I can smell this right through my mask. All right. And then I am just going to take this and I am going to put it on top of our drumsticks. So quick, so easy. And then just toss that marinade right over the drumsticks. Get them nice and coated. Don't have to worry about being too tidy. That's part of the fun, is getting in there and cooking. I love when you can cook and you can adjust things like the chili pepper flakes, or the amount of garlic, or the type of ginger you have. It's a great activity to do with your kids, your family.
Yes.
Cooking is a life skill, and it's so simple. We have so many fantastic recipes, over 200 on our website, manitobachicken.ca. I would encourage you to go and visit our site for this recipe and many others. And an exciting thing is, for our Facebook Live, we actually have created recipe cards with these 2 special recipes that all of you will receive if you share a question with us. This goes in the fridge for 15 minutes, and then you just spread it out on a cookie sheet. You bake these drumsticks at 400 degrees for about 35 to 45 minutes, depending on your oven. Use your meat thermometer.
Yes, takes the guesswork right out.
Takes the guesswork out, and they are just so delicious. You can just sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds on top when they come out of the oven. And I love to serve this recipe with cut up raw veggies or stir-fried veggies.
Yes.
And it's just that simple. So now I am going to pass it on over to you, Evy, for your delicious, and actually, should I say, prize-winning sticky chicken recipe.
Yes.
This recipe was one of our recipe contest prize winners in 2019.
Yes, and it's funny you call it mine, because I actually got it from my sister. And I got it from my sister in the years when I was rushing between piano recitals and hockey practice and play practice at school. So I was super busy. I needed some go-to recipes that were super fast to put together. So this is definitely one of those. And I have used it with different cuts of chicken. I have used it, in fact, I've even served it cold with as sandwiches the next day. So it has been much used. It's a favorite recipe of mine. So we'll start off. Now, this is, again, you're the boss in your own kitchen. You can decide. So we pre-browned our chicken, excuse me, and just one of those things to make it a little bit extra. So then from there, we'll just make the sauce. So now I've got a cup of apricot jam. There we go. And then I've got half a cup of barbecue sauce.
Yeah, so those are ingredients we often have on hand in our pantries and in our fridge. So simple. Evie, this recipe is great because it's a total of 5 ingredients, right?
I know, and that includes the chicken.
That includes that was your soy sauce?
Yes,
Yeah.
soy sauce. And then this is chili powder. Now, again, master in your own kitchen. You can decide. I happen to like a little bit of kick to my food, so I add a teaspoon of chili powder. There we go.
And I can attest to how delicious this is. My family and I enjoyed Evie's sticky chicken recipe tonight, and oh my goodness, it's just such a hit, and it will become, these 2 recipes we are certain will become part of your family's favorite repertoire.
So you look at the sauce, and it's just nice and thick, and that's where the sticky comes from.
Yes, it is.
So there we go, and then we'll just sprinkle it over. I'll just pop this over so you can see clearly. And there we are. You just drizzle over. And again, like Gina said before, it's not fussy. You can just make sure that it all gets covered.
Right.
And there you go. And it's ready to pop into the oven, 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. But again, as Gina and I said, the meat thermometer takes the guesswork right out.
That's right. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And you know, your chicken is perfectly cooked. So Evie, a couple quick things with this recipe. Now, we brown those chicken breasts in advance, and that adds a little bit of flavor and caramelizing, right? And something else that you told me that you often do too is when you have a little bit of extra time.
If I'm not rushing between hockey practice and piano recitals, then I actually saute onions first, and I just added the jam and the barbecue sauce right to the sauteed onions. And then I prepare the rest exactly the way I do here.
Into the oven it goes.
Into the oven it goes.
Yeah, and that sauce is so great. Sometimes you said you'll put it on mashed potatoes or rice.
Yes, I've done it all.
All right, well, these recipes are certainly winners, and we'd like to thank everyone who has taken the time to join us today. And we'd like to thank all of our wonderful farmers out there and thank them for producing chicken year-round for all of us. And a big congratulations on Canada's Ag Day. And now we are going to turn the floor over to all the questions that we have had coming in while you have been watching us. Okay, so I'm not being rude, but I just need to look at my phone here. And yeah, oh my goodness, I don't know where to begin, Evie, so just hang on. So someone is asking if they can use the term fryer chicken and roasting chicken. Basically, yes, you can take a fryer chicken and you can roast it in the oven. And that's most often what we have in the store. They're broiler chickens. They're about 2.5 kilograms or around 5 pounds. Right. And they can be fried, they can be roasted, they can be barbecued. Yeah. Okay. So, Evie, I also have a question here. Someone is asking, they want to know specifically what chickens eat.
Fascinating question. Mm-hmm. So we have businesses that are committed specifically to producing feed, especially for the chicken. And so the chickens eat grain-based diet with protein and minerals and vitamins added. So it's very nutritious and targeted especially to help our chickens be very healthy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. Someone is asking about a temperature. Well, the temperature is the same for chicken parts to ensure that they're properly cooked. It's 165 degrees Fahrenheit on your meat thermometer, whether there's bone in or bone out chicken. So with chicken, when you cook bone-in chicken, it does tend to take a little bit longer time in the oven. If you're roasting a whole chicken, the internal temperature, that meat thermometer should go into the thickest part of the breast meat. It's 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a great question. Someone is asking Evie, this is a perfect question for you, how you know that your chicken is healthy chicken. So what do you do as a farmer? You are the expert.
Yes, and 26 years of farming certainly makes me an expert because I know how chickens look when they are healthy and content. So I go into the barn and the first thing I do is I listen. I listen to the sounds they're making and they tell me whether these chickens are content. And then I look to see if the chickens are doing the things that chickens do. Are they running around? Because our barn is an open floor. They can run wherever they want to go. And they always have access to food, and they always have access to water. And so I'm looking to see, are some eating, are some drinking, and are some resting? And so those are the things I look for, and that they're spread all over the floor very evenly.
Okay, perfect. And Evy, someone is wondering explain a little bit more about why chickens are actually raised indoors here in Manitoba.
Oh, I have a perfect
why
example.
are they raised in a barn?
Yes,
Yeah.
So we have winter.
That's
And
right.
we like to have fresh chicken available in our stores year-round. And now, I'm not sure if you know this, but our chicken is produced locally. So Manitoba farmers produce chickens for the Manitoba market. And so then we have winter. So now, just last week, when we placed our chickens, we get new flock into the barn every once in a while. So when we place our chickens, the outside temperature was minus 37 degrees Celsius. And now inside the barn, it needs to be plus 32 degrees Celsius. So that's a huge difference. So the first reason we do is so we can control the temperature. Mm-hmm. The second reason is we like to keep the diseases outside our barn and away from our chickens. Right. And another reason is actually predators. We live in the country, and there are coyotes and birds that would just love to eat our chickens, and so we keep them in the barn to keep them safe and protected.
Perfect. Right. So the chickens like to be inside, and every day for them, it's a perfect summer day.
Exactly.
You can control the temperature.
Yes.
Right. And then you know that they're healthy, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you want to ensure that that flock is healthy so that we can always have access to that healthy, fresh chicken for all of us. Excellent. Someone is asking a question about if you can share a little bit about what your typical day would be as a chicken farmer.
Okay.
So I guess when you have birds in the barn, what would be your day? How do you start your day, Evy?
So we start the day off probably with coffee,
like
most people. But after that, the first thing we do is we go into the barn and we check and make sure that every system is running well. And that's the first thing we do, and we walk all over the floor of the barn so that we see all of it. And this probably sometimes it takes an hour, sometimes a little bit longer, just to make sure everything's good. So that's the first thing we do. And then after that, we do book work, normal stuff, go to the feed mill, get some supplies, all the other stuff that you need to run the barn smoothly. And then again, at the end of the day, somewhere just before supper, we again go into the barn, do a complete systems check, walk through all the birds, and make sure they're all doing well.
Perfect. Excellent. Yeah. So it's really farming is a 365 a year job.
Yes. Yes.
You gotta love what you do. And someone's asking if you could share a funny story. Anything funny that comes to mind that's happened to you unexpected as a chicken farmer.
Oh, wow. Funny. That's tough. I can share cute stories.
Sure.
I'll share a cute one because it's one of my favorite stories. So I have a daughter who gets tired of winter. I think we all do.
We all do. Right about now.
So inside the barn, when the birds are fresh, is plus 32 degrees. So what she started doing is she would actually take a blanket and a book and spread it on the straw and lie down in the barn and read a book. And then she would see the baby birds would all come and cuddle around her. And then she would see if she could stand up quick enough that her shadow would stay on the
her imprint. Yeah.
Her imprint.
Isn't that something?
Yeah,
Precious,
so that's a fun story.
It is. Precious memories.
Yes.
So many wonderful stories of being on a farm, raising children on a farm, having them appreciate a healthy lifestyle, and how food actually comes from farm to table.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about. And so, there are many questions. We will respond to more of them in the comments. We are very thankful for all of you for taking the time to tune in and share so many wonderful comments and questions with all of us. It's been such a pleasure, Evy, to have you come out and join me. I really appreciate it. A big congratulations to all the farmers out there in Manitoba, across Canada, and a special thank you to all of those chicken farmers here in Manitoba and across Canada. So happy Canada's Agriculture Day to you, Evy, and to all the farmers out there. And thank you very much for tuning in. It's been such a pleasure to share these recipes and this information with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.